FSC Trucking. Beautiful day today. It's a 54-degree day today. We're just getting, yeah, it's 54 in here. It's 5 below out there. Let's get this day started. We gotta go to Baltimore. Let's go. So now we're all hooked up. This is what we got going. We got this going to Baltimore right here. So this is that MB truck that I picked up, and we had a little trouble with Orwell freezing up once we got loaded. In the process of loading it, my governor decided to freeze. That was no fun. Alrighty, boys and girls, we're getting on the highway here now. Just Appleton area, North Appleton. I didn't put the GoPros outside. They freeze pretty quick in this type of weather. I'll probably put them on later on in the day when it gets a little warmer. I might get more than 20 minutes out of a battery. Still right around like 0 Fahrenheit. You know, this is the weather. You really got to be careful out. You really do. And I don't mean like, you know, how the news overhypes crap and you know, with their over covering of. It's like when it gets this cold, they never tell you how cold it is. They always go straight to the wind chill. It's probably like 80 billion below out right now, wind chill, but it's not even windy, so it is what it is. But, you know, it's legitimately around zero. This is where you really got to watch, because it starts really affecting trucks in a very negative way. So we're loaded pretty heavy. We're loaded pretty heavy, but we're not overweight. That truck we're hauling, that snowblower machine, that weighs like 43,000. So we're definitely not light. That builds up heat as far as the engine goes, but still want to cover up your grill because you want to keep your water temperature up a little bit. Although I unfolded it a little bit because it was getting a little warm after we loaded to come home, but it was 20 degrees. Now it's like 0-ish. So, but the water temperature is still in operating range. It's around the 180 mark, which is fine. That's where you want it. The truck was inside today, so it spent a considerable amount of time in the heated shop. And I got about 3/4 tank of fuel, so that fuel has warmed up. I have my fuel heater turned off right now because we're pulling from warm tanks, so, or warmer tanks. Now modern trucks cycle the fuel from the tank through the engine, burn a considerable amount of it or some of it, and then pump the remainder back to the tank, and that over time makes your fuel warm. That's why if you ever drive in the snow, those that do, that's why snow doesn't usually stick to the tanks when you're idling. When you come to a stop, the snow will come off because the tanks are warm. These tanks are not heated, so you must heat the fuel in the line from the tank to the engine if the fuel is too cold. Now, when it starts to have problems, you drop your fuel pressure as you're giving her fuel. She starts misfiring. Throw your fuel heater on, and it comes up pretty quick. So I'll keep an eye on the temperature outside and keep an eye on the performance of the engine. But right now we're on the highway running flat ground, so we're not really running floorboarded, but throwing some power down. Aerodynamically, this thing is a wreck. Between the truck and the load itself, forget it. There is no such thing as aerodynamics. It's terrible, you know. It doesn't exist. I remembered this time to bring my alcohol, which is nothing more than you can buy it in the truck stops, you know, air brake alcohol. I don't know what kind of concentration that is. Stuff I have is also used for rescuing a froze up engine if the fuel heater won't do it. I have had my old Peterbilt gel, and I've had to rescue it with alcohol. I don't mean diesel 911. That stuff, if you read the directions on that stuff, it'll tell you got to drop your filters and put it in there and then put your filters back on. Now, I don't know about you, but pulling fuel filters at 20 below zero or even zero, that's, again, Fahrenheit, that's brutal. Because your gloves are going to get wet with really cold fuel, and you're bound to get frostbite that way. So what I like to do is just dump something right in the tank. As long as the engine's running and pulling from the tank, you'll be all right. But I rescued my old Peterbilt by dumping a gallon of isolating one side, so it only drew from the one side of the truck. And then I dumped a gallon of alcohol, like straight alcohol, right in there. Now, years ago, my sons used to do junior dragsters, and one of the engines we had were powered by M1 methanol, which is 1% methanol, 99% alcohol. So I use that to rescue trucks. Works good for, what in the world? You got the top over there with a broken down car. Oh, there's something on the other side destroying tires. It's either on that ramp or in the highway. Like, how many cars with flat tires? Now I'm wishing someone went off the road there last night. Now I'm wishing I did put the GoPros up. So that air brake alcohol might be good for air rescuing your air brakes. All right, there's our answer. Damn it, Dollar General, you blocked the shot. Must be a huge pothole opened up on the other side. RS8 pulling a Dollar General and at night. They're not even doing 65 in the center lane of a 70-mile-an-hour road. One night, Fox Valley Tech is that way. You need to go back to school, go back to trucking school, learn what the hammer lane and the slow lane is. Damn, I'm in a slow truck. I still went around you on the right. Ugh. Anyway, I don't know what's in the air brake alcohol you buy. Maybe some kind of lubricant that helps brake valves not get eaten. I don't know, but I've always rescued trucks with just straight alcohol or M1 methanol. The only reason I used the methanol is I had it. So I have a half a gallon left. And I remembered to bring it this time. It's in the side box. Now, one thing you got to bear in mind when it comes to running this cold is how to stay warm. If your engine shuts down, how are you going to stay warm? Now, luckily, this truck, I've got redundancy. If the engine goes down because it's cold, I've got the APU to run. Green APU will keep me warm in the cab. Might not make the engine run if it gels up, but it will keep me warm and safe, and it'll keep the batteries charged. That's a good thing. Orwell spent the night last night in the shop, obviously, so I didn't have to run the APU. But I would be curious to know if it would have came up, if it was running it 5, 8 below, 10 below 0, would the engine still have started? One day I'm going to have to test that theory. Just at home. But I'm confident it will, because the last time I fired it, it was pretty damn cold, and the APU kept it warm enough where it fired without too much drama. Of course, it didn't start very fast. The starter wasn't spinning real quick. But think about it, the engine's real stiff. I'm confident she'd fire. But there is a point where it's so cold, the thought of shutting your engine down is basically frightening. But Orwell's maintaining temperature fine for the temperature that it is outside. So I'm reasonably warm in the cab. One thing Cabover is terrible for, and Orwell is bad at it, is the floor heat is not so great. So your feet do tend to get cold. Not terribly, just enough to let you know it's cold out. Something's going on up there, I think. Yep, that's smelling rubber. I don't know who it was. woman is going to drive on that rim all the way to the exit. She's still going. She's in the shoulder, but she's still going. She's gonna go all the way to that quick trip right there and cry to her boyfriend or her husband. How come I gotta put a real rim on the car? I just have a flat tire. I don't know, you drove a mile on the wheel. Going down the road in a car. I don't know if you caught that on camera or not. She's wearing earmuffs. The car don't got heat. Makes you wonder. You know, in 3-degree weather, she ain't gonna pull over and change the tire. Oh well. I'm sitting there thinking, I smell rubber. Like, uh-oh. Like, someone's getting ready to have a bad day, and I'm hoping it ain't gonna be me. Well, I guess if that's the worst that's gonna happen to somebody, that ain't all that bad. Well, the good side is, at least for me, we're already looking into next week. See, I'm supposed to unload in Baltimore, reload in Baltimore, turn around and come right back, drop in Wisconsin. But they're talking about loads for me for next week. That's good. This is where I start getting mad because I feel like I'm leaving too much meat on the bone. That I'm missing opportunities and we're still busy. Why do I not have another truck, a trailer, and a driver? Well, I don't, and that's part of the problem, and I'm really, really busy, and right now it's just my own equipment here. The Orwell and my trailer both got real needy this last since I got back from Glamis. Both got real needy. I put 4 tires, 2 brakes on the trailer, rewired the trailer to back half, then had to rewire the center half, chase down a short, and then Orwell froze up, needed help there. Granted, that's partly my fault. I probably should have changed out the air governor preemptively, but I didn't. I decided to put a dryer in it. The dryer was getting long in the tooth. Needed a 3-year-old dryer, I think. Now, granted, I don't drive Orwell every week like most of you guys do, but just getting, you know, whatever, for what it costs, it was time to change it. One is, equipment's starting to get needy, and Orwell does need other things that I not necessarily need, but want to do. I still don't have the second stack hooked up. Don't have to. I'm debating on whether I'm going to order a set of chrome straight pipes for it, and then put my exhaust to that, but I have to probably custom order or build them. So yeah, I mean, you know, I have to keep this going, and then I got to put another truck together. I sure as hell ain't gonna buy one brand new. I got one broke down or froze up. Rail truck. Got a certain. Yeah, he's broke down. I'm pretty sure. I really doubt DOT is DOTing out 33-degree weather on the shoulder of the road in a snowbank. So in my struggles to keep working on equipment plus driving the equipment, I am starting to look into hiring a mechanic for the shop at a part-time basis. Smoke going north there. cold, boys and girls. Diesels don't like the cold. They do not like the cold. Yet another reason I bought that HEMI power dually. But anyway, back to what I was saying, I am looking to hire a mechanic for part-time work at my shop. Part-time as needed, basically. If you have your own tools, that's great. I have my own tools. You can use mine if you need to. Basically, you got to live in the Freedom, Wisconsin, Seymour, Wisconsin area. You got to be able to get to work, basically. Now, Freedom and Seymour, I'm kind of in that region. I live in Freedom. The shop is closer to Seymour. That's a little west of Green Bay and a little north of Appleton. So if you live in the area and can get to work, shoot me an email, FeszchakShop@gmail.com. If you work on cars, but you don't know semis, I can teach you. It's not really that hard. There's no computer work involved on what I run, so it's just semis, just giant cars. Parts are much bigger. Oh. Starting to think I needed a fuel heater, but there's a rumble from the road and Hummer passing me. The only thing I don't want to deal with as far as hiring a driver is anybody young coming up, you know, like, long story short, if you're 18 years old, you're an adult, that's fine. I'm just not dealing with, you know, high school children, you know. If you got a good work ethic, you know how to work hard. As far as pay goes, that's negotiable. Figure out what you know, what you're worth. Give me a shot. Give me a shout on my email, FeszchakShop@gmail.com, and we'll talk turkey. The other thing I'm concerned about is the weather. It's supposed to be snow coming. Of course, the news overhypes with the bomb cyclone. Like, what? They just made that stuff up. Before last year, anybody hear that? Just making stuff up. I mean, it's cold. Cold weather came down, guys. It's winter too, in case you didn't know. It's winter and it's cold. Bomb cyclone. Stop it already. Alrighty. Salad's eaten. Garbage is thrown out. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Alrighty, so we're at Russell Road, Wisconsin and Illinois border at the Loves. Oh, if you didn't hit the like and subscribe, go ahead and hit it now. I always stop here because I have my salads. Looks like getting out of here is not going to be fun, or possibly even possible. Caledonia just sits on the scale. That happened here the last time I was here. I don't know, we'll see. There's another Caledonia. So I stop here to get my salad because I have them. I get a salad bowl and I buy an egg cup. I put the egg cup in the salad. It comes with like half an egg. I like 4 eggs. Add protein to the salad so it's, you know, a little bit more full. I had to throw my fuel heater on, so this red switch is up, or turned on. So Caledonia apparently doesn't understand that. Actually, no, he's in his truck. Yeah, maybe they're just that busy, he's waiting to get weighed. I had to throw the fuel heater on. I was losing fuel pressure. I also bought a thing of anti-gel. That way the next time I get fuel, I can put the anti-gel in first before I put the fuel. The reason I do that is it mixes it better in the fuel. Remember, I don't have constant flow in my tanks. It just draws from the bottom. There's a little return on the driver's side tank, but it's like a line that big. It's not like a modern truck that flows the fuel through like we discussed earlier. I like to put the anti-gel in and then put the fuel on top of it. That way it helps mix and swirl it around as the filling process goes. Of course it sloshes and stuff as you drive, but anyway, that's what I do. So I bought it. Probably ought to start buying up out of case and carrying cases of it if I was smart. But one of many things I'm starting to I'm thinking about like how to more get my head into the idea of running Orwell more like a small fleet, even though it's a fleet of 1, than you know, just a single truck operation. But on that front, I have other ideas I want to start looking into. Where to look into trucks. I think I talked about it in the past, where I was thinking about starting to look into auctions. I did get turned on recently to an auction site. You know, there are some trucks I've been looking at. But we'll see if anything comes of it. I'm kind of just watching, see what they're selling for. I can kind of have a good idea, get ready to make a move so I don't get find something that I like. I have a better idea what they're actually selling at auction for, then I wouldn't get in the bidding war and come out the losing end of it. Just walk away from something I don't want to deal with. Anyway, that's a thought. So yeah, maybe I should be buying I've been using House lubricator. Maybe I should be using something else, but that's what I've traditionally used. But even with that, I still need the fuel heater, because it's 10-15 degrees. It still does gel up. Routing we're going to do today, we're just going to take 294 around like I normally do, and then run the toll road straight into Baltimore. Yikes! How do they turn that fucking rear steer off? Holy shit. Oh wow, we're just nipping it.